Hi friends, thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited about today's video because I'm going to be speed reviewing all of my latest makeup purchases. So we're going to be finally talking about the About Face Loose Powder, also NYX Buttermelt Bronzer, the limited edition Fenty Beauty Blushlighter, amongst other things. So if you want to know my final thoughts on all of the latest makeup purchases in my collection, then let's go. We're doing base first. So starting off with the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Gel Skin Tint. I use the shade 8. The only downside to this product, in my opinion, is the packaging. I just want to show you what the component looks like, and it's been looking like this since the first day that I got it. It's extremely messy packaging because what happens when you first get this product, it's very puffed up. There's a little air bubble that is in here somewhere so that when you open up the product, the air bubble pushes all of the skin tint to the top and then it's overflowing and spilling and basically impossible to stop. I would highly recommend to flip it upright like this on a flat surface and tap, 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 tap to get all of the air out and squeeze every little last bit of the air out, and then close your component and store it like normal. And here is that shade 8 swatched on the face. It's a pretty good match for me right now. I am in my summer color. Overall, I love this product. This is the only base product I've been wearing ever since I got it a month ago. I would say that this is most ideal if you're one of two people. One, if you have dry skin and you're looking for a medium coverage, lightweight skin tint that is going to be really good on texture because it's not going to crack, it's not going to settle. It does maintain its hydration throughout the whole day, so you don't necessarily need to prep your skin with like a hydrating base for this to work. On the flip side of that, if you have normal to combination skin, but you really struggle with finding glowy products that actually last, this is definitely for you. This is what she looks like on. This is about like a quarter sized amount of product spread out across my face, blended out with a foundation brush. She looks beautiful, very glowy, but not greasy. She does have a slight tackiness, but I find that once I start to blend powders and like actually set my face, that feeling does go away. I would say for oily skin, you can make this work, but I feel like you really need to prep it with like a good matte setting spray, a good smoothing or matte primer. Moving on to bronzer, I finally got my hands on the NYX Buttermelt Bronzer. I used the shade Butter Biscuit. Here's a swatchy poo of that shade Butter Biscuit. It does have that nice like reddish rosy undertone, which if you have olive undertones, these kind of rosy bronzers are really complementary to our skin tone. My favorite way to apply this is actually with another NYX product. This is their Jumbo Fan Brush. You can get it at Ulta, I believe. And this is quite pigmented, but it's very easy to diffuse. I've never had an issue with this bronzer like skipping. And you saw how easy and quick that was to apply and diffuse. I have that layer on this side of the face, nothing on this side of the face. So it does give like a satin finish. I find that really beautiful. I think even for oily skin, you would really like this as well. After a 10-hour day, which for me, that's a pretty long makeup wearing day, this is going to look exactly like this. Beautiful, beautiful finish. Great for dry skin, great for textured skin. Next step is highlight for me. So I got this Merit Day Glow Highlighting Balm during the Sephora sale in the shade Bounce. This is like the rosy kind of shade. I have it swatched right here. So I highly recommend this if you like a liquid highlight. Like let's say you like the Rare Beauty liquid highlight, which that's a highlight that I love, but you want something that's a little bit more easier to apply, something that's not as oily, greasy, or sticky. I think you would love this stick highlight from Merit. As you can see, literally takes seconds to apply, but look at how impactful that glow is without leaving a white cast. I will say there are longer wearing highlighting products. I just feel like if anything, it really just melts into the other products that you're wearing on your face. And by the end of the day, you're still gonna have a glow, but it might not look as concentrated as it does when you first apply. As you can tell, I'm applying it straight from the stick. It does take away like a little bit of my foundation. Like I can see a little bit of my foundation color coming off. I honestly expect that with like any kind of stick product if you're touching it directly to the face. But unlike a lot of stick and liquid highlighters, it does not completely remove and create a patch, like a mark of demarcation on your face where it was touching your skin. It has been in hot climates, it has not melted, it hasn't become mushy. So I think this is very travel summer friendly. I have 4 blushes to share with you today. Starting off with Miss Danessa Myricks. When I tell you, you guys, this Lowlighter in the shade Unbothered has become my favorite blush topper of all time. So this is in her Yummy Skin formula, which if you have never tried her Yummy Skin formula, it's basically a cream to powder formulation. There's a light swatch. Again, this is the shade Unbothered. Anything that you put this on top of will just give it a cute little cool toned pinky shift. It's very thin, but it's not slippy at all. It does grip and settle down. I also have been using this to set down and further lock down like other creams and liquids that are a little bit more creamy and emollient. Even for oily skin, I think you would actually really love this blush. Next, we have an REM Beauty Lip and Cheek Stick. If you've been here for any amount of time, you would know that this is one of my favorite blush formulations of all time. I have like 5 of these now, and they did expand their shade range. This is in the shade Matinee. And just in case, if you don't know like all of my thoughts on this blush, super pigmented, first of all. For oily skin, this is amazing because it does have a good substance to them. Like it's not very thin, but it's not like thick and cakey either. It's just like the middle of the road kind of consistency that makes it so easy to blend. It's not a flat matte. I would say this is more of a natural matte. And these are super, super long wearing. I often wear these in the summer when I'm not wearing any makeup or just when I'm wearing like sunscreen or concealer. This is very maneuverable to be one with your skin, where it could almost look like that's just like your natural skin, like your natural flush. So these are super undetectable, super long wearing, and again, I have dry skin and I love these. They never crack, they never skip or emphasize any dryness, especially up in this area. So just a new shade, but in a formula that I've been loving for probably like almost 4 years now. The next blush is a new shade to me, not new to the market. This blush has been out for a couple months now, but it is About Face's Blush Rush Liquid Blushes. I do already have 2 other colors. I got this one in Grand Prix. Now, if you're looking at this and you're like, Huda Beauty, is that you? I would say yes. In terms of packaging and a little bit of the formula too, it is very much giving Huda Beauty, but if you haven't found a shade that really suits you in Huda Beauty, or if you simply just want a cheaper alternative, honestly, this one is pretty freaking close to the Huda Beauty one. Biggest difference right off the bat is that this one feels more hydrating when I'm rubbing it out on my hand, but also this one does have like an actual glowy sheen to it, whereas the Huda Beauty, if you look really closely when you really spread the product out, you just see little tiny microscopic glitters. Both of them are extremely long wearing. I will say I feel like About Face's shades are definitely more suitable and cater to deeper skin tones. Overall, I think if you like Huda Beauty's formula, or if you've always wanted to try Huda Beauty's formula but you don't really want to pay in the $20 range for a singular blush, you basically get the same thing with the About Face, just in different shades. And finally, we have the Fenty Beauty Hot Cheeks Velour Blushlighter. I have Cherry Pop. I do have a swatching reel, both swatched in studio lighting and natural lighting of this blush. So go ahead and check that out. Leave a like, leave a comment, but I will go ahead and swatch as well. So again, this is the shade Cherry Pop. Super smooth, really not glittery. It's like basically a satin eyeshadow. These are very, very pigmented. So if you are lighter than me, proceed with caution. Honestly, even if you are my skin tone, proceed with caution. If you love a glowy blush, if you love a blush lighter, if you love topping your blushes off with a little extra sheen, a little life, this is gorgeous. I will say I don't find it to be the most long wearing. A lot of pigment load just straight off the bat, so that's the only thing with this product is you gotta be super patient and go in small layers. Now, this is limited edition. Fenty Beauty's kind of weird when it comes to the limited edition products because they say they're limited edition sometimes, but then they like end up making it into their permanent line, kind of like with their lip oils. People have been asking them to make their blush lighters permanent in their collection for like the past 4 years. But compared to a lot of powder highlights like this one is pretty dry skin friendly. I'm really eager to talk about this About Face Curtain Call Loose Setting Powder. And when it dropped on Ulta's website as like coming soon, immediately added to cart, immediately added to my loves. Like I have been anticipating something like this from About Face. I did get the medium shade in Draped. When you open her up, she does look like this. So it's a net instead of a typical, like a little cap with the holes. This is what the cap looks like, and they go together like such. Now the packaging, a lot of people have been complaining about. I don't hate the packaging. I will say this is one of the lightest, most airy, soft powder. Like I even want to dare to say it's even lighter and softer than Hourglass Translucent Veil. What I've been doing is I go straight into the netting, try to tap a little bit, but then I'll go ahead and go back into the cap and use the cap to actually like tap off the excess. As you can see, quite a bit of excess. And then I'll even go as far as to like tap off even more. You can see like it picks up a lot. I do think that this packaging makes it really hard to just pick up like a little bit of this product. But because this product is so lightweight, that's actually really not a bad thing because I do find like I need to go in with quite a bit of this powder to get the set that I desire. I do have dry skin once again, but personally for me, I really like powders like the one size one because they have substance. They have like a thickness to them where they like almost like fill in your under eye. It does give like a light tint, but it's not overpowering. It doesn't ever leave like any like distinctive marks of like where the powder ends and like the rest of my face is. And this powder is super smoothing, super blurring. So compared to this side, I've not set at all, still very dewy. Compared to this side, if you struggle with like the lines underneath your eyes looking really crepey and dried and emphasized with other powders, you would really like this one. This setting powder just simply does not set for as long as my other favorites like the Hourglass and like the one size. For oily skin, I don't know if you would like this because I just think like your oils would eat through this powder where you would just have to be touching up all the freaking time, and who wants to do that? If you suffer with texture, maybe just using this as something to smooth and blur, but then going in with a different loose powder to actually set and lock in. If you don't mind doing that, I think you would actually really like this one. This one doesn't have talc. They have used like some kind of corn product to create like the smoothness that talc usually gives us. Overall, I really like this powder. For the price point, I think it's a great powder. As a finishing powder, it's beautiful. But in terms of like really long days and like baking, this is definitely not going to be the powder for that. Let's talk about REM Beauty's reformulation, rebranding of their liquid eyeshadows. If you haven't seen any of my other REM Beauty reviews, or if you don't know my thoughts on the brand in general, I have always said their eye products are just not worth it to me. Don't waste your money. They've just all been flops, the eyeshadow palette, and specifically the liquid eyeshadows. I do have Fembot in the old formulation, so I have been comparing Fembot in the old formulation to this new formulation. I have the shade Horoscope. This is Horoscope. I figured out that literally the only way to make these work is if you're not wearing anything on your eyelid at all. Not a primer, not a concealer, like nothing. And actually, if you're okay with not wearing anything underneath and just dabbing these on as like a topper, these are actually insanely gorgeous and extremely long wearing. I just take the tiniest little bit, honestly, that was like probably too much. And then I just dab it, and then I will just start lightly tapping, but they will literally look like this until the very second you take them off. My main issue with these is you try to layer them on top of an eye primer, they're too oily. Even other eyeshadows, it will dissolve them because these are just too oily. Only difference I can find between the new formulation and the old formulation is that these are slightly less oily. If that sounds like too much to you, then it is too much, and just like don't even play around with any of their liquid eyeshadows. All right, second to last product, and I did briefly touch on this, but didn't really go like in depth about my thoughts on this Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. I know I'm years late to this game. If I'm being quite honest, Charlotte Tilbury is not a brand that I really want to support or promote on my channel. I just got bamboozled by Ulta's 21 Days of Beauty because this mini size, this travel size was 50% off. Just for the sake of this video, this is actually a really good setting spray. Like the scent is like a spa kind of scent, like an herbally eucalyptusy scent. It smells pretty good. The mister's pretty nice. I will say that. You can press and really control like how much comes out. Like it's a good quality mister. I really like that. It doesn't change the finish of your makeup, but it is a very long wearing setting spray. This isn't the type of setting spray that will like eliminate the powderiness. I don't really see much of that. Great for partying, great for nighttime. So it's decent, but I will not be talking about this brand or supporting this brand like after this. And my latest makeup purchase is this NYX Lip IV. I actually have been testing out this formula for at least a month now, but I did get a new shade in Water About Wine, and I love this formulation. If you like really pigmented lacquered lips like this, these are stunning. But the way that I like to use this, and the only way I really use this, is as a stain. I'll just leave this on for a good 5 minutes and then I completely wipe it off. This is the only lip stain in the Western market that doesn't dry out my lips, that doesn't emphasize any dry patches on my lips, the natural lines of my lips. When I take this off, it feels like I just put on like a light layer of like a stick chapstick. I will say I have been seeing a lot of swatches of these, and I don't think that you need a lot of colors because a lot of these deeper like red, brown, berry shades stain the same. Time to take this off. Love that you can't see any cracking, especially in the inner rim of the lip. Lightly go over the edges with the lip liner. And it's a cute little long wearing matte combo. And here is the final makeup look wearing all of my latest makeup purchases. I did put on a little Rhode Peptide lip tint because I can't see myself in a matte lip. It gives me facial dysmorphia. I've been doing this thing where I've not been wearing mascara or lashes, just a really nice shimmer on the lid, and that's it. And I'm kind of living for it. What do you guys think? if you want more videos like these, get ready with me's, tutorials, reviews, and other makeup teams, then like, comment, subscribe. I'm sending you guys so much love and light, and I will see you in the next one.